So today is, I don't even know what day it is, but it is a weekend and I'm finished with my first semester at college. Woohoo! And I've gotten pretty good grades. So that's amazing. Especially since I started out as being so shy and quiet and anxious during school that I couldn't even go to public school, and I tried private school and I couldn't even go to private school, and now I'm in college and I'm getting good grades and I'm done with my first semester and I am so happy. And yeah, so this video is going to be all about social anxiety, which is something I have a lot of experience with. So like Kristen on YouTube made this tag, link to her channel will be in the description below, and I thought it was an amazing tag, and I've been wanting to do it for so long, but I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't really felt like making a video, but today I felt pretty good, and I'm thinking, why not make this video? So I have typed out my answers, and I'm gonna get started. So question number 1.
When did you know you had social anxiety?
I've been shy and anxious all my life, but none of my doctors really acknowledge, or therapists ever really acknowledge my social anxiety. Well, they never really diagnosed it. So I don't have social anxiety disorder as far as I know, but I have a lot of social anxiety that goes along with my generalized anxiety disorder. And yeah, my doctors now, they agree that I have social anxiety, and we've worked on it before. So I do have social anxiety, but I don't think I have the whole disorder part. I don't know how it works. I just wasn't diagnosed. I don't want to say I have something that I don't have. That's basically where I'm coming from with this. But yes, I have a lot of social anxiety, and I've had it for my whole life pretty much. Basically since I was really young, since I started school, that's when it really started becoming a problem.
What are some situations that trigger your social anxiety?
I have a long list for this question, so I'm just going to read it. Talking on the phone, talking with people I don't know, sometimes texting people I don't know well can make me anxious. Applying for a job, going somewhere for the first time, going to parties, going shopping by myself. Actually, in my A Day with Me and OCD video, I had a little trouble going in to buy frozen yogurt by myself, so I had to go in with my dad. And I talk about that in that video, so if you want to see that video, I will put a link on the screen or in the description.
What does it feel like to have social anxiety?
For me, social anxiety feels like tension in my whole body. Most of the time, anxiety feels like tension to me. Mostly in the heart area, but also I can feel it in my limbs, basically anywhere. Sometimes I'll get a headache, sometimes it'll just be, usually it's just tension in my body. And that's how I know I'm anxious, if I'm really tense. For instance, when I was practicing driving and I was learning how to drive, I'd get very stiff and I would be really tense while driving. And one time I was reversing, so I had one arm on the wheel, and then I had this arm, but it was just like this, just standing there, and I was going back, and I was looking back. And my dad just looks at me and was like, "Why is your hand like that?" And I was like, "I don't know, I don't know what to do with it." So yeah, I get very stiff and tense when I'm anxious.
What are some coping skills that help your social anxiety?
I don't really have any coping skills for social anxiety. I used to avoid all situations that trigger it, but after going through a program for OCD and working on my social anxiety with that program, I've realized that the way to get rid of social anxiety isn't to avoid it, but it's to actually go and sit with it and stay with it until your anxiety goes down. Which brings me to the next question.
Have you ever had treatment, therapy, or medication for your social anxiety?
I have done therapies for social anxiety. I do something called exposure and response prevention therapy, and it works so well with social anxiety. It's for basically any anxiety disorder. I think it would work for. I'm not sure about PTSD, but for most anxiety disorders, at least the ones that I have, it works really well. So basically what that is instead of hiding from your anxiety or doing a coping skill to try to get rid of your anxiety, you would actually go to do what makes you anxious. And then you would just sit with that, and you would sit with the anxiety until it goes down naturally on its own. If you have any questions about that, please comment them in the questions below. And I have actually a video that I made about exposure and response prevention therapy, which I will put an annotation to on the screen, another annotation, or I will put in the links to the descriptions below. And lastly, number 6. One misconception that I want to change is that social anxiety is the same as social awkwardness, because people with social anxiety often are not socially awkward. They just, like, they might feel like they're socially awkward, or they might be afraid that they're socially awkward, but usually they're really not as awkward as they feel. And it's more like, I just feel like it's two different things, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like people would stop associating social anxiety with social awkwardness, because it's kind of different. So yeah, that was my version of the social anxiety tag. I'm glad you watched it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed making it. It's fun to talk about mental health with everyone and like join in the conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon, hopefully. Okay? Bye! Please do a social anxiety tag video. I won't tag anyone, but I want all of you who suffer from social anxiety to do the tag. And yeah, I hope you have fun making the tag video, and please post your tag videos in the comments so I can watch them all, because it's fun to talk about mental health and it's fun to talk about social anxiety. Even though it's not fun having social anxiety, it's fun to talk about. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye! Insert question here. I need to learn to breathe. I'm just talking way too fast. Okay. Breathing. Yeah, so if you want to know more about that, I have done therapy for I have done